Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sailor Agenda, and this is my Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper. We are now helping out this refugee flotilla since it crashed into us and has a lot of, some kind of EMP burst or something similar hit the station, and everything is pretty wrecked now. So we are... Right, we have quests on each of these 3 ships, plus we have 2 quests left back on the rest of the station, which is to expose yet again and to fix this bar, really. This is just a timer. And then, yeah, we need to try to fix this. Oh, I forgot there's a digital thing here, too, huh? We have a fluxed node we need to fix. I think we need to explore... Oh, no, it's right here. Okay. So, you know, cranky. This node flickers in and out, its position shifting slightly each time. I guess I should use the 4 on that, huh? Oh well. There's some flux data. The flickering, shifting fragment needs to be carefully decoded. Well, let's hand that to, peak here. Where'd it go? There it is. Flux data. Peak receives the data on their slate and begins work decoding it immediately. Sleeper, come look at this. Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suite they've set up in the Climbing Briar's cargo bay. On the screen, a clump of data pathways like an ingrown root ball has started to untangle. This is an existing node corrupted by the flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you're listening. But inside, you watch the unwinding pathways leave behind patterns of negative spaces, like shadows staying behind despite their caster leaving, is a whole other data set. Peak's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The flux event somehow seeds this data deep into the gaps in the node, wrapping them around it. What's in there? Not sure, Peak frowns. It isn't being very cooperative. You watch the screen, the pattern of shadows becoming obvious now as each layer of pathways is pulled away. The flux event itself really did a number on unprotected nodes like this one. Most of the eye systems are screened against radiation and interference, but these exposed nodes? Peak makes a ripping motion with their hands. Torn apart. Peak points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. Look here, it looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if this node was a bag of ball bearings and the flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the system came back on, hence the tangle. Peak pauses as the node continues to unwind. Although, Peak muses, it was less like shaking a bag of ball bearings and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. They smile sheepishly. But that's a technicality. Does any of that help us? For now, not especially. It explains the damage flux does to systems, but the method is an exotic one. Peak runs a hand through their hair. What we need to know is, what is causing it? Where is it coming from? Peak turns away from the screen, meeting your eye. And there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken with the refugees? Yeah. Peak lowers their voice instinctively. What they are reporting, massive systems failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruption. Peak swallows. Flux shouldn't... I thought that was collapsing. Shouldn't do that. It could fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems, especially those poorly shielded. But totally collapsing heavy-duty industrial systems, fail-safes and all? That doesn't make sense. Those kind of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares and radiation. The flux might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Peak looks back at the screen where the decoding node lies almost fully open. A shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within its scrambled interior darkens the screen like a set of bruises showing the pattern of the object that made them. I need to look into something. I have an idea what might be causing this wave, triggering the flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Peak shakes their head. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself for now. If you need something to do, the flotilla could surely do with the help. From what I heard from Esh, things are tense there. Where'd Esh go? Peak glances around the bay. Must be out. I've been focusing on this, so I can't say I've noticed. Although the quiet is nice. They smile. Give me some time, Sleeper. Peak turns back to their console. I'll have some answers soon enough, I hope. What the hell? You take one last glance. Sorry, I gotta tighten a screw here or something. This is doing this all of a sudden. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave, the dark shapes it leaves behind. Somehow troubling. You try to shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. Okay, yeah. We need to make ourselves useful there. We need to unload supplies there. That's 6 cycles underway. And we need to keep helping these guys out with just repairs and such. As well as Matsutake caps. Which I have more of, actually, so... The only other use for them I have is to sell them, I think, so... Might as well. Other than that, let's see here. How is my farm currently? Oh, it's ready to harvest, okay. We already have, well, we're okay for now, so we'll just hold off for a while. I actually think maybe we try to finish up the, maybe we try to finish up the not DLC quests first, before we get another big timer or something. Let's see, this is where we were dealing with Yannick, right? Yeah. And then there's also the Overlook. Let's start dealing with these two. Factories, restaurants, surgeries, schools. The layers of the block are rich with stories and problems to solve, and you're starting to learn them all. Down here. Yeah, we're +2 on building the stills, so we need to cut Tala's tank down and turn it into a still and a fermentation tub, and as well as setting up the room for distilling. It's a big job. You aren't sure Tala knows what she's doing, but she's a hard person to say no to, so it looks like you're building this thing. Tala comes to help you for a bit and chats to you about her plans for the Overlook. A second pair of hands makes the work go easier. Yeah, those are going to both take a little time, but we're alright. This is also going to time out in only 2 cycles, but that's fine. Let's take a rest and feed the cat. It's only 3 cryo, but and let's work on these. Won't actually take very long to resolve them. This one longer. Goodness, is I can re-roll these dice. Still not all that great, although it becomes workable because of our +2 to engineer, so yeah, there we go. Plus, and plus, okay, and energy as well, because we're a thrill seeker. Okay, very productive day there. Getting pretty close to handling the annex thing already. Obviously very quick, nothing really happened, but making our way through things. Stray. Let's just use a good dice. Let's finish this. Okay. You almost laugh when you see it. The same small recorder, stuck to a different wall this time. Written across the fluorescent tape is that familiar word, sleeper. You grab it quickly. Rabia says sorry. Sabine's voice sparks up once again. She said she didn't have time to brief you before setting you up with the old man. I'm sure you've got the play by now. Earn his trust, work the block, then we need you to get into his office. Pause. It's risky, but obviously you're the only one of us he doesn't already know. Either way, we need to locate the link to SNR. You hear a shout in the background of the recording. Rabia says, be careful. Sabine continues. The data suggests there's some relay processing the implant data and sending it to SNR, but we can't lock down its position. Either he's moving it, or it's moving itself, or it's rerouting through the relays so we can't understand it. Maybe you can find some details on it in his office. Once he trusts you, you should be able to get close enough to get in the office. You'll only get one shot. The recording creaks and whines. That's the final piece of the puzzle to end this. A pause. Good luck, Sleeper. I'm sorry too. Be safe. The recording clicks off, leaving you in silence. You pocket the recorder just in case and walk away. Looks like it's up to you. Oh boy. Well, I'll just use a good dice. It's 100%. Yannick's asked you to collect his medicine from his office. Now's the only chance to find that SNR relay. You spot the countermeasure on the drawer moments before you touch it. This has to be it, but you can't rush it. Oh. Well, I figures he'd be prepared. He's a literal mob boss. You look at the countermeasure on the drawer. It looks like some kind of shock trap. If you'd grabbed the drawer, you'd likely have thousands of volts running through your system right now. You wince. Once you find the anchor points, it comes away easily enough. You prise it from the drawer quickly and quietly, then listen for footsteps in the corridor outside. Nothing. All clear for now. You slide the drawer open, looking for other countermeasures that might be inside, expecting to see a chunk of tech, the relay. But as you slip it open, all you see is a handful of wires and an empty implant cradle. Is this some kind of mistake? You freeze for a moment, unsure what to do next. Why keep an implant cradle so carefully guarded? You remember Yannick having an implant, a small plate on the side of his head just above his ear. You assumed it was for hearing or vision. What the hell is this doing? Those shimmering glasses of his come back to you in your memory. His strange movements, his speech. You look again at the cradle, and there it is printed on the frame. Proprietary technology, property of SNR. Rabia said the relay moved, that they couldn't get a fix on it. What if Yannick was the relay? The thought hits you like a shock. Yannick with a remote relay what the hell? Sorry, obviously I've got to tighten a screw or something. With a remote relay implanted in his head, networked to every single implanted enforcer in the low end. A shudder runs through you. Is he even in control, or has SNR wormed its way into the man? Could he even be considered separate from the corporation itself? You think of your own legal status as proprietary technology. A puppet with cut strings. Time to cut Yannick's strings, then. You reach around inside the cradle and find it. A remote connection, a tiny bead of a transmitter likely controlling a link to SNR. There it is. You pause for a moment, then you squeeze it, snap it from the frame, and it crumples, sparks, and dies. It takes a moment before the shouts come, before the scream, and you're already on your way out. Down the corridor, down through the unit that serves as the lobby to Yannick's office. Then out onto the walkway where Yannick lies still, enforcers gathered around him, bemused. Oh, what the hell, let's take a risk. You push through the crowd, and there he is, still, crumpled. You arrange him a little, lie him down properly, feeling how thin his body is under his suit. You wonder how long he's been like this, a puppet for SNR. With the connection cut, nothing remains but his body. Which means that Yannick the man was gone a long time before now. You place a hand on his chest. You're sorry for him, but it's done now. And you did not kill this man. You've seen enough. The connection is cut, and whatever Yannick was or had become is gone. Your anger is a hard core in your chest, and all of it is focused on SNR. Yeah, no, they killed that man, no question. Ooh, achievement. Remote control. Okay, the low end is wild with stories about Yannick's death. You're still waiting for Rabia to get in touch, but you trust that she will. Yeah, I imagine so. I straight up murdered her boss, so... Okay, then let's work on the bar. 2 good rolls, and, okay, that's kind of miserable. We're just gonna use that to hack or something. Whatever. Maybe I'll buy some fungus. What the and then plus energy. And we'll have a nap. Oh, there's an active scene still? Oh, it's time for the Sidereal Horizon, huh? Oh wait, it's not oh, but this. The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you've worked alongside on the Sidereal. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, his anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. "Robot!" she shouts, reaching out to you. "Hi, Mina." She waves frantically, grinning. "Quite the turnout, huh?" Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. "I don't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths." The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lem's attention. He's putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. "It's not great, Lem." Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. "This is Aster Enghart of the Celis Foundation." The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance, and shouts of "Quiet!" rapidly follow. "I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sendre Celis for the work you have done on the Sidereal Horizon." Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. Sendre wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment to and belief in the Celis Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the venerable Havenage Association. Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new, decentralized social structure. One where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You are all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the Sidereal Horizon will carry in cryosleep to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Celis 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. They named it after the corporation. We clearly don't know what it is. There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sendre Celis herself. Freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Havenage Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision. The staff of the Sidereal Horizon who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space. Lem turns to you, his eyes bright. This is it. This is actually a really raw deal. They basically are just hiring staff for the mission, except the only thing they're paying you is that you get to land on a planet when you're about to die of old age anyway, probably. Is what it sounds like to me, anyway. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Celis identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. Oh god, they're gonna screw us over anyway, aren't they? A murmur runs through the crowd. Celis identification numbers? Licensed contractors? You've never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones like a rising wave. Esther starts reaching out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what's happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. Lem? You turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina's scared now as the shouts start. Daddy? They're clearly fucking us over. Someone throws something at the entrance, and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see for the first time, Havenage security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Clearly only, senior management or something got the chance. Lem, let's see, I'm not depending on this, really. But he is. Lem, let's go. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. I don't think it's happening, Lem. Lem blinks rapidly and turns to you. He closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Aster reading off the ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks and Mina sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you, too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling's as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, the signal for the coming violence. Yeah, that's... okay. Drive failed is a bit of a dick move, considering it wasn't possible to succeed. Is it too late to blow up the Sidereal Horizon? Not gonna say I didn't see this coming, because it seemed pretty plausible. Figured it was either that, or, like, only I would win a spot, and I would have to give it up for Lem or something, but no, they just straight up screwed us over. The thing is, I have another way off the station if I really want it. But I'm also pretty happy here, so... Alright. Okay, we're in pretty good shape then, though. That's actually, let's see, Expose Yannick is just, we're just waiting for that to finish. I think it is finished effectively, so... Oh, the distillery, though. Yeah. No. I should have just used one of the good ones. Oh well. Surely this won't go wrong. It didn't. Well, it's built. What say you, Tala? Tala stands back from the newly finished still and tub, hands on hips. Look at this, she grins. The overlooked distillery in all its glory. She squeezes you around the shoulders. Thank you. How's sourcing ingredients going? Tala smiles. I think I've got most of it covered, between the food factories in the low end and the farm stacks on the greenway. However, she pauses, there is an issue. What's the problem? Well, Girol the drink, as you probably guessed, is named after Girol the mushroom. That's what gives it that golden color and earthy taste. The alcohol is infused with the mushrooms along with a mix of spices. That means you need Girol caps to make Girol, but no one wants to supply us. The distilleries on the Greenway are taking all the stock from the farms out there, so it's hard to get a single cap across Founder's Gap. However, I have an idea. We can grow our own Girol caps here. She smiles. She gestures back at the increasingly equipment-filled back room. Are you sure? Totally sure. Tala puts a hand on the still. We made a still, we set all this up. How hard can growing mushrooms be? They don't need light, they barely need soil. We can do this. She pauses. Or at least we could if we had something to grow them from. Like spores? Exactly. Suddenly you feel like you've walked into a trap. And you are the perfect person to get me those spores. She nods rapidly. Think about it. You built the still, you're great with plants, you know the eye like the back of your hand. Need I go on? Are you flattering me? If it's working, then yes, she grins sheepishly. Look, I can't leave the bar and the other people picking up shifts, she grimaces. I'm saying it has to be you. Fine. Wonderful. You'll love it over on the Greenway, I think. All that fresh air, open space. She sees your expression. Okay, I'm done. She turns back to look at the still and the fledgling distillery forming around it. It really is something, though, isn't it? And want to or not, you really have to agree. Okay, how many does she need? 1. Oh no, 3. Tala wants to set up a mushroom farm to feed the distillery. All she needs from you are some spores to start it off. The mushroom farm will make the back room of the Overlook into a miniature Girol factory. They're so cute, says Tala, looking at the container of spores. Her excitement is infectious. Okay, well, clearly we were supposed to potentially unlock that quite a bit earlier in the game. We can very easily get more spores. And we were going to need to soonish anyway, because we'll need to grow more mushrooms. Although, actually, we're not quite there yet, but, yeah, let's grab some spores. And that'll do it, but, heck, let's just grab more. Come in handy when we need to replant later. Probably should have just harvested it, actually. Whatever. Here's the rest of your spores, Tala. Probably didn't expect me to have them available so quickly. Boom. Tala has locked herself away in the back room while she focuses on the distilling. She won't let anyone in or out. Okay, 6 cycles for that. 4 more cycles for that. Let's rest, and we're gonna actually need to start getting ours. Well, we'll put like 1 into starting to get our next batch of stabilizer ready, but it won't take that long. Feed the cat. And then I think we're pretty much, I think we probably are done with the quests from the main area, so now we can actually focus fully on the refugees for the most part. Except for just maintaining our stabilizer. We did get multiple Matsutake from that, and I can sell that, but I don't really have a need to, so... I guess we'll donate the rest to the fleet, probably. That's that. Here. Have some caps. Maybe I can fill this one just by donating caps. I'll put like 1 into here just so I can read what happens. Focus on the most important tasks first. Ship repair, supply chains, organization, and quickly see the effects. Okay, let's work on this then. Let's make ourselves useful. On the Windslong Shadow. You notice a bug in the wind cycling system and manage to fix it. Aki gives you a knowing look. It seems like you're proving yourself. I should eat before I do that, in case we, Map's getting kind of big. We should eat before we do that, in case we screw it up. I'm gonna oh, wait. Oh, that didn't make it easier. Okay, well... Statistically, it was probably going to make it easier. Now I don't know that it's even worth trying. Let's just hack something. Oh, there's another flux node here. Huh. I don't really have anything specific to do with that yet, but I'll bear it in mind. Maybe I should hack all of them. I didn't realize there was more than one. Thanks for watching, Space Sailors. Hope you enjoyed. New episodes will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like or subscribing, and have a nice day, Space Sailors. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.